welcome back to BGA TV HD, the show where we do gaming commentaries every other day. And let me just tell you, this break we've taken the last, 4 videos from talking about gaming. It's finally over. I'm back into the space I belong. No talking about Endgame for a little bit. I'll go back to it in a few videos, but that's besides the point. No Endgame, no bullying songs, just pure gaming, where I belong, when I belong, here in this room, not doing anything else. Wondering about those vlog days? Yeah, I kind of forgot about them until today, so won't be seeing them for a while. But anyway, today's topic is one I'm a little more concerned about than most of my other topics, and it's gaming commentaries. Not the kind of commentaries I do, more commentators. Like, not like, YongYea and Clean Prince Gaming, those kind of guys. Their videos sometimes are okay, and other times they are not good. And today we're going to be focused more on the negative side of that, and, obviously that doesn't sound exactly too positive, but sometimes neither are these guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So for as long as I've known, gaming commentators have been around the YouTube block. I've obviously not been around for the entirety of YouTube's lifetime, but I've been around since about 2011. And that's a pretty long time, like 8 years. So I've definitely seen some kinds of these guys before. Now, gaming commentators, until the rise of these new channels, used to be PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and those guys, who instead of being, I guess they weren't called Let's Players. It's really, really confusing to me, at least, but the point is, the original gaming commentators were those guys. They were commentating on the games they were playing, but they turned into Let's Players, which is just other terminology, because a new group arose. The modern gaming commentators that are actually just commentating on gaming instead of gameplay. Now, this, in and of itself, sounds like a great idea. This is literally what I do, too. But I'll just tell you, there are some problems with these people. Now, I'm not saying all of their videos are bad, because they're not. Some of them are actually pretty darn good, but also, some of them are not good. And I'm going to be talking less about the videos or the person, but more the actual, way these videos are made. And so, without further ado, I'd like to show you a little clip of 2 videos that I'm going to be going over, or not really going over, but more just, talking about. You get the idea. Anyway, roll the clip. So, out of the 2 video clips you saw right there, we're only going to be talking about one, the Anthem's player base depleting one. And let me just tell you, this one is based off of a Reddit post. Now, if you're any sensible internet dweller, you will know that Reddit is not to be trusted. Anybody who's not proven to be official on Reddit is not to be trusted. You don't trust any of them. I mean, as a Redditor myself, I mean, I don't go on subreddits where you're passing around information. I just kind of stick to the memes, you know. But to be honest, I've been to the Anthem subreddit. There are a lot of posts and there are a lot of things on that subreddit that are not true. And people are doing things on that subreddit that kind of bring the game down. And it's just not how it should be. So it's taken from the Anthem subreddit, the post that he's talking about, and it's basically some guys on the thread talking about how the queue times are longer because they were having longer queue times, and how they think that it's because not many more people are playing the game. Now, I don't blame them. Anthem isn't getting enough content updates, so you might be seeing less people playing the game, but the queue times being longer, I don't know. I mean, it could be a number of things. It could be your region is set incorrectly. It could depend on what time of day you're playing, or like the skill level. These guys were playing at Grandmaster 3. It's actually been a bit proven that most of the Anthem community is casual, and they could possibly still be going through the story and not even be to the end game yet. Now, you might be wondering, like, how is that possible? Well, Anthem is a casual game. Even playing it as a casual game is kind of the way you have to play it. If you're playing it hardcore, you're going to run out of content pretty fast. Now, I don't know what constitutes a hardcore gamer. If it's like, I'm playing this game for 1,000 hours, you'll probably still get enough out of Anthem. I think you'll get more than you would expect from what people have said, but definitely not that amount. And if the player base is casual, like it's kind of been proven, then that means that possibly most of the people are not to the end game yet, therefore making your queue times longer because there just aren't enough people to that point in the game yet. Like, if you somehow, let's just say, get to Grandmaster 3 on the first day the game went into early access, and then you go to the subreddit complaining that the queue times are too long at Grandmaster 3, and so many people have already dropped the game, that's absolutely ridiculous. Now, at this point, you would probably expect, if the game had a strong hardcore community, that there would be more people there. But my theory, at least, is that there isn't a hardcore community. But that's not the focus. The focus is on the video. Now, just basing it off of a single Reddit post and just doing that is already a little weird. Like, you don't do that. At least in my mind, you never base an entire video off of a single Reddit post. You gotta back it up with some more information. And from what I can tell, he didn't. And, well, I guess that's just it. He didn't. I mean, what I'll say is that this is not a good example. Because, okay, I'm not done. That was a weird statement to say. I'm not done. But it was saying, basically, that it wasn't that the player base is low because the queue times are longer. Well, honestly, I don't know exactly how the video went. I can't remember. But I will say that this isn't how you should do commentaries. And here's the scary thing. This is not where it originated from. He did not make this himself. What actually happened, and this is the focus I really meant to have from the video, but it kind of took a different turn. But we'll get back to the main focus. This was a Reddit post. And then the YouTubers. No. So it was a Reddit post, and then it went to Kotaku, which it's not a very good place. It's like the People magazine of gaming on the internet. Then that went to the YouTubers, and then that ballooned more. Then that went to Forbes, where people around me saw it on there as they had seen the Reddit post. There you have it. One single Reddit post blasting up the chain to the top of the internet shouldn't be how it is. What I'm really trying to say, I guess, is that you really shouldn't be able to have this happen. There shouldn't be a point in time where Reddit posts are your source of news or theories or entertainment, for that matter. It's different if it's like memes or you're looking at people's responses to interesting questions, which is kind of where I found my niche on Reddit. But what they're doing, which is taking a random Reddit post that a few people were agreeing with, and let me tell you, Redditors may be loud, but they do not represent all the people. I'll say out of most gaming communities, most of the people are not really on the internet or in the community. Even people around me, even my friends who are gamers, are not on the internet. They're not. They just aren't. They're not looking up news. I basically tell them everything they know. They didn't know of the PS5 being announced. Well, kind of announced, but that's besides the point. They are also quiet. They're what we call lurkers. They're not even lurkers. They just don't go on the internet. And that's the point. And when you have a loud part of the community speaking about this, but it's a really tiny part of the community, like 1/100th of a 100th of a 10th of a percent of your full community, you can't just pass that off as everybody. And I've fallen victim to this, not in video form, but in real life, and I am striving to make myself better at not doing this. But it is a common problem with these commentators. And along with this, I'll bring up an analogy, and this might be an analogy that you don't like, but it's an analogy that works. The Fortnite revert situation. Apparently, the whole community that was up in arms and super angry and just furious that their beloved siphoning had been taken away was actually only part of the 10% of the community that was giving feedback that they actually liked the siphon changes. The other 90% was saying the core 3 game modes became too intense, with the good players having full health after build battles, and therefore the casual players were having less of an enjoyable time. And it's a different situation with the Anthem subreddit, but it's a similar thing. They're not exactly having a horrible uprising like people thought they were having with Fortnite, but you can still see the same kind of things happening, where a louder group of people who are the minority are outspeaking the majority just because the majority are casual players. Now, if the majority of casual players on Anthem were louder, we might not have a video like this even exist. But that's not to say that one wouldn't, and that's not entirely the point of this video. Yeah, I know, this has been a bit of a mess, and I know it's a mess, but I'm just trying to get the point across that Reddit posts should never cascade up the internet to YouTubers as the main focus of a video. If you say, wow, this post has a lot of upvotes, maybe the developer will put it in. That's even borderlining it. I'm looking at you, Camping Rusher. You do that sometimes. And I'm going to say, that's borderline because you're not outright saying this is being added to the game. Some people do. Some people go to a game, see one interesting post on Reddit, on this game's subreddit, for a cool concept, and say, developer is adding this in. And it's like, no one said anything. Most of those posts, the developers don't even respond. The only Fortnite location that a creator made that's actually an official location that sticks around was Haunted Hills, and it doesn't even look the same. They just kept the name. Like, seriously. I don't know where this idea came from, that Reddit is like fact, but it's not. I mean, I love Reddit. Reddit is a really cool place, but you can't just take things from there and use them as fact, because it is filled with a lot of misinformed people, a lot of stupid people. But if you stay away from those parts, then you're good. But the people who don't and go to the game subreddits, it just ends up being a mess. And then using that as facts for news videos, no. It doesn't work. You shouldn't do it. In my mind, it limits your credibility for the future. And that's where I'm going to end today's video. So, I guess that's about it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. And this is Brandon from Big McClarty Gaming, signing off. Goodbye.